Well, it's time for a quick update. This is about the fourth or fifth time I've shot this video, and the ending of it, I just can't decide if I want to say it or not. But we're going to say it on this one, and we're going to run with this one. After the Queen of the West video, or actually in the description, I'll post a follow-up video to this one with some information I found out about this mine, kind of just right as I was finishing editing that video. I found out some more information about that mine, and I didn't want to just go through and re-edit that whole video with that information, so I'm going to post a follow-up to it. And I'm still going to do that. The reason I haven't, I got the Rona, and for any of you interested about it, I didn't get that sick. For about 2 days, I didn't feel very well. I felt, I just wanted to sleep. Achy all over, a little bit of a fever. Just didn't feel good. The worst part about the whole thing was the cough I couldn't get to go away, and I'm still kind of dealing with it a little bit. I'm about like 4 weeks out, not 4 weeks, maybe 3 weeks out, something like that. I don't remember. From having it. I still got a little bit of a cough. And the only reason I kind of pieced together that I had it, after I started feeling better, I went back to church and started talking to some of the folks there. Lo and behold, a lot of them had it as well. It seems like it made the rounds to the church, and their symptoms were the same as mine. Most of them got tested, and they tested positive. One guy that I know of got fairly sick from it. Actually, two guys. One was vaccinated. He got fairly sick from it. He's an older gentleman, and he got sick. Take that with whatever you want. His wife also got sick, but not as sick as he did. So, anyway. And the other reason I kind of, after I talked to them, I was like, I really didn't have any smell during that time frame. My taste buds were way off, and my smell was completely off. Like the scentsy stuff, or candles, I couldn't smell them at all. If my wife turned them on, lit them, I couldn't smell them. I usually have a pretty good sniffer on me, and I couldn't smell anything really. Unless it was really strong, I just couldn't smell it. So the one mistake I made during that whole process, I thought I had a bad cold. I came up here to get firewood. I was by myself. About the fourth or fifth day I was sick, I come up here. And by the time I got that load on, that cord of wood, I had just about had it. I felt terrible the next 2 or 3 days. I think if I had rested, I wouldn't have been sick as long. But I come up and did things like that, and I just kept doing things like that. So instead of resting like I should have. Anyway, so that kind of set my schedule back. I've been trying to catch up from not getting as much done during those 2 or 3 weeks as I wanted. So been playing catch up. Today I come up here to get another load of wood. And this is the only day that I can remember only bringing one saw with me. And this is the day that I wind up with a little bit of water in my gas can, and it wound up in the saw, and now my saw won't run. And this saw that I brought with me is my Dolmar, I think it's 7910. It's their big saw. And I usually bring my Stihl 034, which I've had since like 92, I think is when I bought that saw. It's been a great saw. But a few years ago, I finally had the money to buy a big saw. I've always wanted a big commercial, like logging saw, so I could cut through that wood just, so fast. And I went down to buy a Stihl 6 whatever. Anyway, it was like $1,200 for that saw. I about had a heart attack. I decided I'm going to look around a little bit more, maybe find a used one. And I stopped by another shop that had these Dolmars. He also sells Husqvarnas, and I was talking to him. He says, I'll make you a good deal on that big Dolmar right there. I said, I don't know anything about those. And I went and did a little research. And Dolmar is now owned by Makita. So if you see a Makita saw, it's a Dolmar saw, or vice versa. Anyway, so I assume the Makita saws are probably pretty good saws too. Started talking to him some more about it, and he said, this saw is just as good as these other saws that I sell, but people around here just don't know anything about them. They're made in Germany. And I've heard of Dolmar gas cans, and evidently Dolmar is the one that invented those kind of gas cans. So I took a gamble on it and bought that saw. I think I paid, I want to say $7.29 out the door with a 28-inch bar on it, and a couple chains. I've not regretted it in the least. That saw has been a great saw. It usually starts about, at the most, the third pull on a cold day like today. Today it started first pull. It's 25 degrees up here today. And it's been a great saw. I started it this morning. First pull, it started right up. Started cutting into a tree to fall and got about 3/4 of the way in, and the saw died on me. And I thought, well, that's strange. I've never had that happen before with this saw. Wound up pulling the plug. I couldn't get it started. I pulled the plug out and smelled it. And when you get water and gas, it's just got a certain smell to it. Well, I wound up, the gas can was in the back of my pickup the other night when we got some rain. And I think a little bit of water wound up down in the can, and now it's in my saw. That's okay. It was kind of a half-hearted attempt today to get firewood anyway. I would rather just kind of drive around the mountains and look at some old mines or something. So I think that's what I'm going to do the rest of the day. I know if I messed around with the saw long enough, I could get it running, dump the gas out, make sure that there's no more water in that gas can, and how you would do that with this particular can. It's got one of those stupid safety spouts on it. Turn it upside down and let it sit for just a little bit. Let all the water settle about where that spout is, and then open it up. All the water will come right out because it's going to come to, water is heavier than the fuel, so it's going to settle right in the bottom. You can get it right out of there. I should have done that. I should have thought about that before filling the saw up, because obviously I tipped the can up and that's where the water went. It's right into the fuel tank on the saw. So I could fix it, but I don't think I'm going to. I'm just going to go mess around in the woods for a little bit. Okay, I think that's about it for the update. As you can tell, there's a little bit of snow up here today, so it's a great day. This is when I really enjoy getting firewood. Get down into the 30s and 20s, that's my time to get firewood. Get up past 60, not so much. So the last thing I wanted to kind of address, and this is why I keep having the hang up every time I do these videos, trying to retake the video. A few videos back, or a couple videos back, I just said one little comment in there about vaccine jab stuff. And in the comments, I think what I said was never in a million years would I thought we'd be at the point we are with mandates. And I think that's pretty much all I said. And in the comments, it just surprised the heck out of me. I don't even remember what that video was particularly about, but I remember the comments in it had more to do with that one little comment I said in the video. People just got all riled up about it. One guy said, well, you're one of those anti-vaxxers, and you're getting all political. And what was the other one? Oh, the one guy said, well, you took shots as a kid. When you went to school, you had to have them. So just get over it and go, Well, that's a lot of assumption on your part. In fact, I've never had a shot of any kind. No, I have not been jabbed for any of the common stuff that kids get jabbed for. My parents signed the waiver thing back when I was, in school. So I never had them then. I never had them as an adult. I think I've got a pretty robust immune system. I think that's the way God intended it. You get sick, your immune system grows from it. I'm not saying that you shouldn't go get jabbed if you want. Your conviction's your conviction, and my conviction is my conviction. I'm just saying politicians should not be telling you what to do. Politicians who's never worked probably a day in their life in a real job, out manual labor, or in the case of cops, the terrible the job that those guys have to do. Firefighters, nurses, those are the true heroes. And to be told you're going to lose your job because you don't agree with me as a if I was a politician, I'm telling you what to do. You're going to lose your job because I'm telling you to do something and you're not doing it. That's just flat wrong. Those are the true heroes. Politicians are not. In any way, shape, or form. Especially career politicians. They're not the heroes. Never have been. The true heroes are the guys and gals out there putting their life on the line every day. They've been putting their life on the nurses have been putting their life on the line, and doctors for almost the last 2 years with fighting this thing. And to be told that now you're not a hero anymore, you're a loser, you're going to lose your job. It's not right. In any way, shape, or form, it's not right. It gets me fired up a lot. And to have people make assumptions about my convictions or anybody else's convictions, I'm just kind of beside myself when comments like that show up over just a simple comment I made that I can't believe we're at that point. What's next? That's probably my biggest problem with it. Yeah, it's for this now, but what's next? Our wonderful governor in this state has already come out and said climate change is the biggest emergency that we're going to, past COVID-19, that we're going to deal with. And you've seen some of the agenda from the left on this. Population control, so on and so forth. You can see where I'm headed with this. What's to say that these politicians say, well, we think you people are having too many kids, so you need to go get sterilized, whether you're male or female, however you want to take that, because, or you've had one kid, you need to go get, whatever form of sterilization, or you need to take this thing where you can, this pill or this implant, so you can't have any more kids to save the planet. How far off are we from that kind of stuff? That's the problem I have with it. You can't go down this road without serious consequences later. So, that's what I'm going to say about it. I'm going to leave it at that. Yes, I got political. It's my channel. If I want to say something political, I'm going to say something political. I just don't feel it's right. I think a lot of the people that have been jabbed don't think it's right. And it's your choice. If you're in one, I'm not saying that you shouldn't. If you're in one of those groups that are more prone to the illness, to get further sick from the illness and possibly die, by all means, I think it's probably a good idea. If you're not, you just ought to think about it some, I think. Decide what your convictions are. And it's your choice. And here's the funny thing about it. They say, oh, you still have a choice. Yeah, we know you've worked here for 20, 30 years, put your life on the line or whatever. And yeah, you're going to lose your retirement, but it's a choice. It's called coercion. Okay, enough of this. I'm going to go look at some mines. My hands are cold. I'm hoping I can get up out of here. I drove down where I normally get wood, and I don't have the best tires on the truck right now, so these big heavy diesels that Wrangler Star guy doesn't like. I seen a video from him a while back ragging on diesels. I don't think I'd ever own another full-size 3/4 ton or 1 ton truck that isn't a diesel. I've had such good luck with them. And to say in one of the comments, I guess I'm going on another rant, aren't I? Oh well. To say that they're rattly and they don't start when they're cold, completely false information. He ought to be flagged, fact-checked, These new trucks are not loud. The old ones were. The old ones didn't like to start when they were cold. These new ones, this is a 2014, never had a problem starting. Even when it's 30 below, it starts. No problem. I don't even have to plug it in. It always starts. So, okay. Off to play in the woods. Everybody have a great day.